just very quickly, last game, other game I've been playing and have rolled credits on and have platinumed.
Sure.
Astro
Wormy
Bot.
Passage. I love that game.
Astro Bot. I am so, and I get it, but I cannot wait. I was going to say, I'm so disappointed you haven't played this game, but I can't be disappointed.
You've
just
played
been
a little
busy.
bit. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Let me just take a
It's
sip of my juice.
Listen, the little bits I've played, I 100% agree with what you said in the last episode. It is charming. It is joy in a little package. It's bite-sized, so it's really palatable. I even had Shani come over and watch for a bit. She's like, "This looked cool," and I'm like, "Yes, you should play this."
It's great.
So yeah.
What I think has surprised many people though is that we spoke about this at length in our last episode, how many people played Astro's Playroom bundled to PS5 and surprised by how good it was. Like, damn, imagine this was a fully fledged game, and Astro Bot is that. And I think when it was announced, we all joked like, the 2024's Game of the Year is finally launching, whatever. I mean, I joked thinking like, yeah, but I know I enjoy it, but will it be that good? And let me tell you,
this can't come against Rebirth. Never.
I can tell you, this game will 100% be up there with like the Game of the Year, with the other Game of the Year contenders, and it'll be in those conversations. And I think rightfully so. I've seen a lot of discourse on like, oh yes, okay, but also Astro Bot's just copying Mario with some of these ideas, and like, maybe, I don't know, but in terms of the execution and how it is just a well-designed, well-crafted Sony product, I'm like, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. It took me about 14 hours to platinum it. I know that they've announced there are new speedrun levels and stuff coming, and I will be there. I will play more of this game with pleasure. I
feel like that's going to consume you, knowing how competitive you are. The idea of speedrunning these levels.
Astro's Playroom had 1 or 2 DLC drops, and I was surprised. I was like, did I play these? And I was like, oh yeah, I did. But I think that was a lot smaller in scale, like 1 or 2 extra levels, whatever it was. Because I mean, the original game was super short anyway.
Yes.
But yeah, I'll gladly take any excuse to go back to this joyous world, filled with so much PlayStation marketing. Just
yeah,
you gotta. I think having rolled credits now, the amount of characters and little Easter eggs and stuff they've put into this game it's pretty staggering. Like, there are characters that I've rescued and I've gone, why does this look so familiar? And I'm like, oh, hold on, this is that one obscure PS1 game I played as a kid. Like, I forgot I played that rather than nostalgia. But yeah, even just in terms of the platforming and the design, it's just so well polished, and I think if you're a PlayStation owner, like, it's a no-brainer. You have to play this. If you've got any sort of love for the PlayStation brand, whether you've been there from PS1 or PS4, you've just started on the PS5, like, there's a lot of love in this game, and it's so fun. It really is. I think Umar gave me the best analogy, or the best sort of barometer for how good a game is, because he said, a game's good when it makes you like a goofy grin the whole time.
Yes.
I was like, that is so true. And let me tell you, most of this game is just joy. It really is just you going, wow, I can't believe they've done this, or I can't believe they've included this character or whatever. I mean, if you're watching the video right now, I've just rescued my boy Joel.
I'm having a good time reading these descriptions, because they don't outright say like this character's from here, but like you rescued Ellie, and it was like, her description was immune survivor, aspires to be an astronaut, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
And Joel's one is like, what? Something, a skilled smuggler, and then says occasionally tells the white lie. It's like, Jesus, okay.
No, but it's funny because, look, if you've never played any of these games, like those little Easter eggs over your head, but if you've played them, you go like, oh, like it's just, it's so good.
So good.
So cheeky. Yeah.
But I think because there's been some, I'm not going to say lots, because I don't think it's been the overwhelming majority of the discourse, but there's like this this idea that this fetishizes sort of like the PlayStation brand as a whole in a way that Mario doesn't. Like Mario itself is its own thing. It isn't there to market the Nintendo console. It 100% is, but not in a way. It's not like self-aware that it's on a Nintendo console, whereas Astro definitely is.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's like you said. I think you can play Astro's Playroom without any reverence for that, and I think a lot of people are, because they are much younger, PlayStation consumers, so they don't know a lot of these things. And I don't think that detracts from the game. I don't think it requires that sense of nostalgia to work. It is just a good ass platformer, irrespective of that. And that's what it needs to be. So I get where it's like, yes, a lot of this comes down to your nostalgia for these old PlayStation games and these little Easter eggs, but that's not why this game is good.
Oh, no, not
only,
at all.
No.
Yeah. It definitely stands as its own good platformer. And even that sort of conversation of like, oh, it's just a marketing stunt for Sony. I'm like, so what? If
that is literally every game on the market today.
But if the new Mario game, for in some alternate reality where it's a Mario game where he's busy saving the Switch, or like, no one would care. No one would go like, oh, like Mario's so self-aware. Like, I can't believe they've done this. So why is it a problem when Sony does it? Like they've got 30 years of all these properties and this history. I think it's very smart to lean into it, because for people like me, it leans into the nostalgia and makes me love the game even more. I'd be thrilled if Nintendo did a similar thing. I mean, I think Super Smash Brothers is like their version of that, right? Where there's a lot of 100%, Easter eggs, different characters, whatever. But if they made a Mario game where it was him, I don't know, diving into Nintendo's history, like, tell me you wouldn't love that. There'd be lots of cool Easter eggs, moments that older gamers like you and I would appreciate.
No, I agree.
I don't get why that's like how that's meant to be like a criticism against this game. I'm like, so what? From a marketing
and I think you're right.
Like,
Smash is that for Nintendo.
100%.
Like, people forget that it is a love letter to not only Nintendo properties, but all the properties that were part of Nintendo's identity back in the day. So it's 100. I mean, also, remember when you played Breath of the Wild and Link immediately pulled out something that looked like the Switch?
100%.
Like, they do that shit. It's not as overt, but they do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how things are. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
No.
I do wonder now, the only thing is like, what does another Astro do? Because I think if you do another one, you're like, cool, we've got all these Easter eggs again. It's like, oh, okay, this is getting a bit, so can't do that again.
I've had the same thought of like, because Astro's Playroom was like very bite-sized, cool. To make it on a bigger scale made sense, right? Because even that had just a few cameos, whatever. Now it is, well, what do they do with the sequel? Is it a PlayStation 6 launch title? And what, like, you're right, they can't just go like, oh, here's all these Easter eggs again. They're going to have to do something different there. Maybe they won't make an Astro Bot sequel for a long time. Like, I don't know.
Could be. Yeah, could be.
Maybe they put it to bed, or maybe they do. I guess we'll see. But all I can say is, from a marketing point of view, like, having it have this much branding and stuff, I'm like, it's genius. Like, I find it so clever that your spaceship is a PlayStation 5 and the small ship you use to get around levels is a PlayStation 5 controller. I mean, like, why not? Why is that a criticism? I don't understand.
Yeah. Especially when the Astro Bot brand, it's not like this came out of nowhere and, was doing this with the PlayStation branding and the hardware. Like, Astro Bot started its life as a tech demo. And so people associate it with, even if you never played them, that is what the association is for a lot of people. And so it just leaning further into that, I don't think is disingenuous and feeling like it's just marketing the hardware. It always was that, so just let it continue being that. And like we say it all the time, that these games have been the best uses of the PlayStation hardware, so why wouldn't they lean into that very theme if they are in fact delivering on that as well? And I do believe that. I think Playroom and now Astro Bot, like, they use the DualSense in a way that pretty much every other game doesn't. And I appreciate them for existing because it gives purpose to the DualSense. So Yeah. I mean, let them lean into it. I don't find it off-putting, and I don't find it distracting. I can understand why some people would, but I don't think that's to the detriment of a very, very good platformer either way.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, so last thing I'll say, I remember playing Astro's Playroom, and you know the little double jump laser thing?
Yes, his little feet jetpacks.
I thought it felt weird because it was different. Because, it's not like a traditional double jump. But it's weird how...
It's like a hover.
Yeah, but by the time I got to the end of this game... I didn't mention, this game has some very difficult challenge levels. Completely optional.
I've heard, yes.
But that little hover move, I'm like... look, it's probably been done in other games. If it has been on, I don't know. But I was like, that is a nice little extra... Like a specific Astro touch for platforming. Just the fact that you can place your jumps better or whatever. I'm like, I take my hats off to them. Like, it feels good. I love the way this platformer feels. So, yeah, it's a good time. Like,
I think the fact that it doubles as an attack is also interesting. I think it's just a cool way to interpret like platforming as an offensive move as well.
Yeah.
In the same way that Mario's jumps are the same thing.
Yeah.
So.
And last thing I'll correct, when we spoke about this last time, I said, I don't know, maybe some of the bosses are a bit challenging for people who don't traditionally play platforms because it's a one-hit kill. I'm wrong. You'll see behind my little character, there's 2 little hearts, so you can take a bit of damage. Only in boss fights, though. Otherwise, it is you get hit, you die. But I think that's like
quite smart, I think.
Yeah,
that is smart. Because you don't want to get to like a certain phase of a boss and then you die. Yeah, that's just frustrating and
so annoying,
at odds with the rest of the game, I think. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. But Astro Bot, it's good.